right, good. Liz, we're working on some shoulders, some chest, some neck, and some upper back today. So really focusing on like here and up. I'm gonna give a couple minutes. Is the lighting bad? I think that's just my face. Um, mm, Maybe I can move it closer. Real close. I'm gonna give people another couple minutes here just to jump on. Liz, if you could grab yourself a chair, that's basically all you need today, a yoga mat and a chair. It is pretty white, huh? That's okay. As long as people can hear me and see my body in a little bit, it should be fine. Yeah, I think it's that one. It says there's three people on here, but I only see you and this. Kara? Cool. One more minute and we'll get started. Grab yourself a chair if you don't have one. Well, I know a lot of people are camping. Yeah, they're gone this week. Yuka went to Yosemite. Uh, they left this morning. I guess she had summer school yesterday, so. All right, let's get started. So those that are tuning in, we got five people. We are focusing on basically the crown of our head to our hips today. So, hi, Mike. What we're doing, Mike and Rick, I see you guys jumping in. We're going to start with our cars, but we're only going to do our neck, our shoulders, our upper back, and our hips. That's where we're going to stop today. So we're basically focusing on hips on up. Let's start with a kneeling position. So you guys will get in a tall kneeling position. We're starting with our neck. There is going to be a large majority of today's training that is focused on the neck, but we're going to wait until the last part of the training to take care of this thing because it is pretty delicate. So as we go into this, just like any other cars routine, just really focus on moving 1 millimeter at a time, really slowing yourself down, feeling how your body feels, feeling where you're tight, and trying to spend the most time in that range to let your kind of brain know that we can relax. Because what happens is we get these tight spots, we get tension in little parts of our body, and if we don't work into the tension in those spots, that's when things start to get tighter and tighter and they never really release. So, we're going to get into this starting with our chin, going chin to chest. And we're going to start on the right side. So get those arms down by your side. You can either hold on to your thighs or just simply make two fists. Chin is going to scrape across the right side of the collarbone. Head tilts back. I almost always have a pinching point in that little spot. As we rotate with the chin facing the ceiling, we're going to bring the chin all the way down to the left shoulder. Scrape the left collarbone and pass through into a second rep. I want you guys doing 3 repetitions on this side. And again, really exploring how your body feels. So if you have any pinching points, just slow in that area, kind of slow down, work through it on the first repetition. Once we go through for reps number 2 and 3, see if we just break it up simply by moving. When you guys have hit 3 circles going in that clockwise way, I want you to stop and go the other direction. Just make sure that those shoulders aren't following along with the neck. Shoulders are staying down, arms are pushing down and kind of reaching down towards the floor at your side. Our CARS routine, again, it stands for controlled articular rotations. That's controlled circles, basically. So slowing yourself down, working one little inch, one little millimeter at a time, seeing how your body feels today. Because on any given day, you're going to have tight spots in one area and looser spots in others. Let's go one more circle. If you guys haven't given me another circle going the opposite way, so we should be going counterclockwise now. We'll move to our upper back, so arms are going to cross. If you are near a wall, what I want you guys to do is back up near that wall, put your hips on the wall, and then we can kind of lean back and away. Maybe I'll turn to this side so you guys can see a little bit better. So I'm going to back my butt up against the wall, arms across my shoulders. I'm going to lean my chest down until I start to feel that low back come off. So I don't want my low back to come off or my hips to come off. I'm basically just trying to segment my spine one vertebrae at a time until I can't crunch any further. From here, I'm going to rotate all the way to the right, dip that right shoulder back. Obviously, now I have a little bit of block in that extension, which is okay. So I'm just going to pass over to that other side, bring my elbows down, and go ahead and go into your secondary rep. We're going to do 3 circles on one side. If you guys are not blocking yourself, you can just roll into that full circle. Same thing with this thoracic car. You guys are going to really be focused on our shoulder, on our upper back today as well. So make sure that you're really getting loose in there and also exploring where things are tight. Let's go 3 circles one way, stop, and go 3 circles the opposite direction. Almost always for me, when I go back into that extension, my hips always want to follow me. So they always want to kind of counteract by pushing forward. Really make sure that you're keeping everything in here tight. So when I roll and dip myself back, I'm not jutting my hips forward and I'm not twisting my hips either. So go ahead and give me 3 circles in each direction. Get a good feeling on how that upper back feels. What's up, D? Welcome. Good work, guys. Good work. Give another couple seconds here just to let people finish those 3 circles. And we're just going to roll to the shoulders today. Usually we do shoulders, elbows, and wrists. We're just going to do the shoulders, really focusing on the shoulder blades and the upper back as well. So I'm going to just turn my body sideways so you guys can see if I'm twisting or leaning, which I should not be doing because I'm really trying to isolate the shoulder here. I'm going to start with the right hand. So right palm faces up as much as possible. I'm going to cross over my body as well. So I'm crossing all the way over my body and I'm trying to rotate that hand as much as I can externally. So that means turning my thumb out as much as possible, really trying to like wring out that rotation. So once I'm here, I'm going to keep that arm straight, reach out in front of me, continue to keep the arm straight. Almost always, this is where I start to see some elbow bend in some people. So make sure that arm stays nice and straight. Once we get the bicep near the ear, I'm going to start to turn my thumb towards my body. Start to wring out rotation internally now. So as I reach back behind me, I'm going to keep rolling internally, keep rolling internally, keep rotating. And then once I finish that circle, you can now see the back of my hand is down at my thigh. I'm going to stop and go the opposite direction. So back of the hand goes, start to rotate, bring that arm up and around, and bring it all the way down to the front. So you guys never saw my chest facing you because I was never allowing my body to move along with my shoulder. Go ahead and give me one more rep on that side. Do little checks every so often. If you know that you have some issues in your shoulder mobility, upper back mobility, shoulder mobility, Test yourself. So once you get that arm up and overhead, stop. Look at your arm, make sure that it's locked out. Once you start to rotate, usually right about here when we're at like 45 degrees behind your head, stop here and see if you're leaning this way or if you're rotating your chest an opposite direction. Really just trying to get that full rotation and full movement from the shoulders. Two on each side. So if you guys are done with your first arm, go ahead and move to that left side. Good work, good work. It's very common in that rotation that I'll see a little bit of leaning, a little bit of chest opening up, twisting. So make sure that we're double checking yourself, keeping yourself as square as possible. Even again, leaning into a door frame for this, it helps a lot to make sure that you're not leaning out and away from that door frame. Should be done with the shoulders. We're going to roll into the hips now, and then we're going to get right into today's training because we're going to try to hit multiple parts of the body. So all we're going to do for hips, if you guys have came to class the last couple weeks, we've done hips side lying and quadruped, so on all fours. I want us standing today. So you guys are going to stand, find something to hold on to. So I have this nice little rig post here. For once, I finally look tall in this video, which is really cool. I'm going to work on my right side, so I'm holding on to an object on my left side. So when I'm doing this, think of the same thing as your shoulders. That's why I like to do this immediately after the shoulder. I'm going to cross my right leg over my left, and then I'm going to externally rotate as much as I can. So I'm turning that hip, basically turning my arch towards you as much as possible. From here, I'm going to lift my knee, try to keep it adducted as well. So I'm trying to keep it across my body, bring that knee up as high as I can without leaning backwards. My knee then moves out to the side. Notice I'm still keeping that external rotation. Once I get out to this side, now I'm going to internally rotate my hip. Try not to let myself move sideways. So I'm internally rotating as much as I can. Knee is going to search back towards the wall behind me. Continue to internally rotate, and then let that knee come down and meet my other one. Reverse direction, so knee moves back. I'm going to externally rotate and lift my knee, bringing my knee up as high as it'll go, bringing it across my body, keep that external rotation, and bring it back down. Go ahead and repeat. Knee up, out, internal rotation, which is the hardest part, bringing it back, and reversing directions. I highly recommend you guys filming yourself doing these because just by me watching myself in the camera, it's really helpful to keep me honest in these. So switch sides, leg comes across, keep as much external rotation as I can, knee comes out. Now we're going to internally rotate as I search for the wall behind me, continue to internally rotate the hip, knee meets the other one, and reverse directions. Just two on this side. All right, how's everyone feeling? Everyone good? We'll stop there. We're going to roll right into our training. So, first couple things here is going to open up our chest and our shoulders. This entire development of today's programming is focused on for those that are sitting at a computer screen, those that are looking at their phone a lot more, those that basically are sitting in this position. We're kind of slumped over. We end up kind of shortening all of this stuff that's in our chest. We elongate all the stuff that's in our back, which pulls us out of a normal good posture. So we think of good posture as sitting up, shoulders back. This is how we should type. This is how we should drive. But we actually have to continue to move, which is the best posture, because if we sink ourselves into this posture, you're going to have tightness in other areas and looseness in other areas as well, just like you would here. So we should have the ability to move our body into all different positions, which is what today's training is going to focus on. For our first part today, I want you guys getting set up towards a door frame if possible. So I have the rig post here, Cassie has the rig post here. Basically, I just need something that is not going to move away from your body if you pull on it. So if you have a heavy couch, you can use that as well. Our first pails and rails contraction, I'm going to get my arm out in front of me in a tall kneeling position, and I'm going to hold on to the rig post or whatever object I have that's not going to move away from me. From here, I'm going to lean myself down. My pails contraction, I'm going to start pulling my arm back as if I'm trying to squeeze my shoulder blade back. This is not going to move anywhere because I'm anchored into a post, right? So I'm stretching that arm out. Pails contraction, I'm going to try to pull that arm back. Rails contraction, I'm going to shift my body down. So here I'm trying to pull back. Rails contraction, I'm trying to sink my body down and pull my arm down, right? Pails, rails, here. Got it? The other arm is just going to be your tension creator. So you're pushing that hand into the ground, creating tension with the opposite hand. Ready? Shoulder height's great for this, just because we do need a little bit of space to be able to sink down. So I don't want you like reaching super high up. So shoulder height is perfect. Into our first pails and rails contraction, we're going to ramp up into 100% contraction. So lean your body away, feel your shoulder blade kind of reach out in front of you. And with 20% torque, I want you to start pulling your arm back this way. 20%, 30%, 40%. Should feel this mostly in the shoulder and the chest. 50%, 60, 70. Now you should feel that kind of lat start to fire up a little bit. 80%, 90%, 100%. Hold. Keep pulling back. I want this going like straight back, trying to pull that hand straight back into the shoulder. Keep pulling. Keep pulling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lean down. Start pulling your hand down the pole. Go. This one should be 100% contraction right away. So I'm leaning down, trying to pull my hand down the pole. Good work, guys. Keep going. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Take your arm off. You can like just kind of anchor yourself into the door frame. It's fine. We're going to try that again. Same arm, same contraction. Anybody have any questions before we move on to that same arm? Okay. Going into that second contraction. Arm up. Let that shoulder kind of pull away from your hand. 20% contraction. Start to pull that shoulder blade back. 30%. 40%. 50. 60. 70. 80. 90. 100. Hold. Keep pushing your body away. Keep pulling your arm towards you. Don't lose that contraction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lean down and pull that arm down. 15 seconds worth of this. This is just as hard as you can give. So as much as you can give, as much as you can pull down. Should be feeling this stretch in the chest. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch sides. Good job, guys. You don't. So as you come down, Cass is having a hard time feeling it in her chest. So when you guys are up and you lean yourself down, if you're having a hard time feeling that up in the chest and in the pec, what you can do is turn your body away from that shoulder, and you should be able to find a little bit more of that chest. Feel free to kind of like shift a little bit during this. If I say like you should feel this in the chest and you don't, kind of shift your body around a little and we should feel that in the chest. Mike, question, how important ear to bicep distance? I don't really care, Mike, how close or how far away it is, as long as we're feeling this in the shoulder and as long as we can contract this part of our lat, wherever that arm needs to be. All of that positional things, all the like positional things will change from person to person just depending on general mobility. All right, we're gonna switch to the opposite arm now. So same exact thing, same exact pails and rails. Arm is up, other hand is finding that tension on the floor. I'm gonna lean my body away, let the arm kind of drift out and away. Turn this way, I think that'll work a little bit better. So let that arm kind of drift away from my body. Feel that stretch. Pails contraction is pulling that shoulder blade back, but my hand is anchored in. Back this way. Slow, steady, 20%, start to pull the shoulder blade back. 30%, 40%, 50, 60, 70, should be feeling this in the lat and the shoulder. 80, 90, 100. Push your body away and then keep pulling your hand against that, wherever your arm is anchored to. 15 full seconds here, guys. We're halfway. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lean down. Try to find that stretch in your chest. So if you have to open up the shoulder a little bit to feel the stretch, go ahead and do that. It's basically just turning your body away from that arm and then start pulling that hand down this way on the pull. Holding this for 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Is that better? Okay. Good. Let the arm kind of shake out. We're going to go right back into that. So what this is doing, guys, as we kind of let that shoulder blade go, working to pull that thing back is going to make you understand how to use your scapula independently from your lat. So a lot of times we get those things kind of fused together and it won't move until we move our entire back. So we want to make sure that that shoulder blade and that scapula can move independently from one another. Ready? Round 2. Arm up, other hand creating tension. Kind of lean your body away, let that shoulder blade reach out in front of you. And at 20% tension, try to pull that shoulder blade back. 30%, 40%, 50%. 60, should be pushing harder into the ground now. 70, 80, 90, 100, guys. As hard as you can, lean your body away, pull that arm back as much as possible. Halfway. 3, 2, 1. Lean down, find that stretch in the pec, and start pulling that hand down. Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go. Whew. Feel that one? That was good? Okay. All right, we're going to move solely into our chest and our pecs now. We're going to do what's called a doorway stretch. So my thought on this is if you are at home or at the workplace or wherever you guys are working right now, you guys can find some sort of a door frame that we can put your arms against. Very typically, it's going to be smaller than what I have in front of me with this rig post. But you guys can use any door frame that you guys have at your house. So we're going to do this standing. I'm going to get my hands situated on this door frame. So the wider this is, the more stretch you're going to get in the shoulders and the chest. So just be aware of that. What we're going to do is pails contraction and then lift offs. I'm going to move this camera back just a little bit so you have a little bit wider of an angle of me. Yeah, that should work much better. Okay, so I'm going to come forward, feel this stretch in my chest and my pecs as much as I can. My pails contraction, I'm going to push into the door frame with my hands. So what I'm trying to do is basically feel more of this active stretch, active motion in my chest and my shoulders. You feel that? Okay. It's kind of hard not to feel it. So once I feel that stretch, I'm going to start to push my hands slowly into the door frame. For my rails contraction, I'm going to try to pull them back. So I'm keeping my body in the same position, but I'm trying to pull my arms back and squeeze my shoulder blades together. Make sense? Ready to go? We'll try this first one together. So start leaning, feel that stretch in the shoulders. Palms start pushing into the door frame at 20%, 30%, 40%. If you roll your shoulders forward, you're going to feel a little bit more of an intense stretch here. 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, 100%. Squeeze. Keep your hands pushing in as much as you can. Keep your body in the same position. Keep your torso angle up. Good job, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Without moving your body, try to squeeze your shoulder blades back. Hold this for 15 seconds. You can make fists if you want to. Try to pull the hands off the rig or the door frame. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. This one is pretty brutal. Probably sunburn. I'm going to go ahead with that. All right, going back into that. Since we did just work in isometric, so we did a little bit of pails, a little bit of rails, you may have a little deeper mobility now. So once I go into this stretch again, I may find that I'm able to move forward a little bit deeper than my first set. Just realize that's now undertrained tissue. So anytime that we do an isometric, you're going to get a little bit more, about 10 more degrees of range of motion, but that's usually an undertrained range of motion. So just be honest here when we're ramping up into pails. If you get to a point and you're like, whoa, 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 that's enough, just stop at that percentage and hold until we're done. Good deal? I saw somebody. Dee said, is that Cassie dying? Yes, it is. She has a little sunburn on her back from the bike ride yesterday, so this is probably not the best one. All right, so lean yourself forward, hands kind of on the back part of the door frame. Find a good stretch in the chest, and then slow and steady pushing your hands into the door frame. 20% tension, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%, 70, 80, 90, 100. Pushing as hard as you can. Again, if you need more of a stretch, roll your shoulders forward, and you'll feel even more of a stretch in the shoulders and the chest. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No body change. Squeeze the arms back. Pulling the hands off of the door frame. Squeeze your shoulder blades back. Relax your head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. A little bit more chest work. We have some eccentric work now in the chest. I'm going to turn you again so you guys can see me. This one, I'm going to get myself basically centered arm is going to be out in front of me. So I'm going to be onto that post, onto that door frame with my hand. I'm going to push against the door frame equally with my hand. So I'm squeezing myself into that door frame. And then at 5 seconds, at a 5-second count, I'm going to open up my body while still squeezing that arm in, almost like a pec fly. So I'm going to kind of open up my hips so I have room to rotate. So right arm is up into the wall. My left leg is kind of back and away from my body. Pushing in with my hand, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, opening up my chest. Make sense? Let's try it. We got 5 reps ahead of us. So push into the door frame, feel that pec kind of fire up, and start to rotate while pushing pressure. 2, 3, 4, 5. Close it back up. If you need to open up more just so you get more of a stretch, I'm okay with that as well. Push into that door frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close it back up. Push in, squeeze the pec. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 3 reps. Push in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These ones are a little harder to feel because we have to have that kind of like active pec squeeze going on here. So as I push into this, once my arm is pressed in and I'm squeezing onto that pec, just give yourself a little tap on the upper chest. See that that upper pec is active. If we can keep that activation as I lean away, you're going to feel this a lot more. So left hand is on the door frame, right leg is kind of out and open. Pushing my hand and my arm into the door frame, feeling that chest, making sure it's active, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close it back up and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel that pec. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close it up. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close it up. Last one. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, okay. This is where we are going to need that chair. I have a little bit of a modified chair out in front of me because I didn't want to have to grab a chair. So this is going to be basically the seat of my chair. So if I was sitting on it, I'd come over and I would sit onto my chair. You guys are going to use the seated portion, the sitting portion of your chair. And we're going to work on some shoulder flexion. So I see this a lot in strength and conditioning. I see where people have a really hard time getting their arms up and overhead while not using any part of their back. So arms are up here and not back here. When we did Arnold presses the other week, I saw a lot of people leaning back into their presses and not using proper shoulder flexion. So if this is hard for you, don't just say, man, that was really hard, and then go on with the rest of your week and the rest of your training week. This is an area where a lot of people have to work on. So this can be a constant practice for you guys. Hands are going to be up onto the seat. I'm going to lower my body as much as I possibly can until my arms are overhead and extended. So if I turn towards you, it basically will look like this. So my arms are extended as much as possible, and I will not be able to lift my arms up. So I'm coming down as much as I can. If I try to lift my hands off of this PVC pipe, I could not do it unless I came out of position. So lower yourself down as much as possible. We're going to do a pails and rails contraction in this. Pails, I'm going to push my hands into the seat. Rails, I'm going to try to lift my hands off without any part of my body moving. So basically, if there was a scale on top of this PVC, pails, I'm pushing down on the scale. Rails, I'm trying to pull off of the scale. 2 sets. Lower your body down. Slow, steady, 20%. Put tension into the chair. 20% effort. 30%, 40%, 50%, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Push into that chair as hard as you can. Push your palms down. Should feel this everywhere. The chest, the back, the shoulders, the lats. Keep pushing down. Might even feel it in the forearms. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try to lift. Nothing's going to happen with the body. You're just trying to lighten the load that's being pushed into the chair. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Lift those hands. Try to get as much height as you can. Keep fighting for more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sink your body down a little deeper. We're holding this position. Sink your body down into a deeper stretch. And we're going to go right into our second pails and rails. Slow, steady, start to push into your chair. Remember, this is untrained tissue, so very slow ramp up. 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, squeeze your abs a little bit harder. 60%, squeeze your quads. 70%, 80%, keep pushing down into the bench. 90%, 100%, push down as hard as you can. If I came by and tried to lift your hands, there's no way that they're going to move. You're pushing down as hard as you possibly can. Keep driving the hands down further. Keep putting more pressure into the bench. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift. Lighten the load that's being pushed onto the bench. Try to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Try to lift the arms. Don't change position in your body. Keep your hips still. Keep your upper body still. Reach. Look at your elbows. Lock your elbows out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. As you come down, the arms are going to have a little bit of a hard time reaching down at your side. We have that same position. We're doing 10 liftoffs, and then we're going to work on some rotation part of the shoulder. So I'm going to come back down into that position. This time I'm not going as deep as I possibly can because I need a little bit of range of motion to lift my arms. So I'm going to come down into my position. When I say lift off, I'm squeezing, holding, and bringing back down. This should not be an extensive lift off where I'm bringing my hands up about a foot off of the bench. It's just a very small amount, 1 or 2 inches, if that. So bring yourself down into that position. 10 lift-offs with me. It doesn't matter about your back. We're really just focused on the upper back. So low back, I don't really care what's happening with that. And lift off. Hold. Relax. 1. Lift off. Relax. 2. Lift off. Relax. 3. Lift off. Relax. 4. Neutral head. Lift off. Relax. 5. Lift off. Relax. 6. Lift off. Relax. 7. Lift off. Relax. 8. Lift off. Relax. 9. Lift off. Relax. 10. That's it. We are going to lay down on our sides, and we have some sleeper stretches, and then we got all neck work after that. What the sleeper stretch is, let me turn sideways to you guys, because that will be much easier for you to see. In this sleeper stretch, I'm going to rest my head either on my shoulder. You guys can grab a pillow if you have one nearby. A yoga block works really well. But I'm going to basically work on this part of my arm. So I'm going to bring my elbow up. I guess resting on your delt's not going to work, huh? So bring your elbow up so this arm is directly off of the body. And then we're going to take this elbow and we're going to cut this space in half. So I'm basically bringing that arm down to a 45-degree bend. From here, this internal rotation of the shoulder is usually pretty intense on most people. We usually have a lot of issues that happen with the internal rotation part of the shoulder. So as we do this pails and rails, we're only going to ramp up to about 50%. If you feel okay, go ahead and ramp up to 60%, but we're just going to stop there for the day. So I'm going to push that arm down as much as I can and just lay a little bit of pressure on top of that hand. If you guys are all the way down at the ground, I want you to bring your elbow up a little higher and aim a little closer to have your fist touch your rib cage. That'll make things a little bit more difficult. From here, pails contraction, I'm going to push my hand up into that hand that's on top. Rails contraction, I'm going to release this hand and try to reach my fist down towards the ground. Ready? Shoulder should be down and packed to the ground by your body. So I'm not like rolling this whole arm in and leaning away from it. I'm laying completely on top of that shoulder. Slow and steady, start to push that fist up into the hand. 20% pressure. 30%. 40%. 50%, we're going to stop here and we're going to do a longer hold. If you feel the need to push a little harder just to get a little more activation in the shoulder, go ahead and do so. But it's not completely necessary. Holding this for a full about 20 to 30 seconds. Keeping that same pressure. We should still feel the shoulder active as we press up, so don't lose activation in that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go and try to reach that fist down towards the ground. Decrease that space as much as possible. Holding this for just 15 seconds in the rails contraction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. We're only doing one set of pails and rails. We'll do a quick little set of eccentrics. So I'm going to bring my hand back up towards the top. Top hand comes down. I'm slowly pushing up with this hand and pushing down with this top hand. Eventually, this top hand is going to win, even though I'm still putting pressure up into that hand. And we're going to do 5 sets of these eccentrics. And go in 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick up that hand and bring it back up. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides. Good thing we're working our neck since I'm making you hold your neck up for so long. Yeah. Pillow would definitely work. You could use Max's bed over there. All right. Sleeper stretch again. So this hand is directly off from my body. Bending the elbow, cutting that space in half with my elbow, and then aiming for my belt line with this hand. So now I'm going to bring this arm down. You'll probably notice that one side is better at this than the other. You have more range of motion on one side than the other. That's not uncommon. Slow, steady, going to push that bottom hand up into the top. 20% effort. It's very steadily pushing effort into your hand. 30%, 40%, 50, 60%, and hold. Keeping the same kind of pressure. This is definitely my worst arm, so I know that I'm not going to put like everything I have into this, but I am working to improve. So there is still a constant effort of myself pushing this hand up into my top hand. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go. Let's go fist down towards the ground. Try to decrease that space. Get it down as much as you can. Keep rotating, keep internally rotating as much as possible. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that arm out of rotation. Top hand comes up on top and eccentrics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back up. Go. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whew. Okay, come on up into a seated position. And we have basically just two more things left. So with our neck, since all of the vertebrae in our neck are very small, they're the smallest vertebrae that we have, starting at the bottom of our skull and running basically right to the point where we put a bar in a back squat. So a little bit higher than that. The cervical spine gets very junky on humans because we sit in a very set position all day. So we have to make sure that as we're rolling our head, as we move our neck into whatever direction that we can, there should not be any pinch points, and there almost always are. So we're going to focus on first are the sternal part of our neck. So that basically is just all of this musculature that comes up to the bottom of my jaw and runs into the bottom of my collarbone. All of this causes a lot of stress, or it gets really tight with a lot of stress in people. So we have to make sure that we are taking good care of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically draw a line. So here's my esophagus. I'm taking my fingers and I'm putting them next to my esophagus underneath my jaw. I have 3 fingers on both sides, and then I'm just going to bring my hands all the way down my neck until they're at my collarbones. So as I'm stretching down, I'm going to look up, and that is my pails contraction. So I'm pulling this down into pails, and then for rails, I'm going to bring my chin to my chest and put my hands on the back of my head and literally let it just sit there. So let your hands do the work. Don't do any part of stretching or any part of pulling into that portion. We ready? Okay, so slowly pull down on that neck. Kind of get your fingertips anchored in your collarbones and chin up to the sky. Slowly start pulling down at 20% effort. 30%, you can even reach your jaw up toward the ceiling. 40%, 50%, and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the chin. Place your hands behind your head and just let your hands pull your chin towards your chest. Holding this stretch for 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, ready? Pull down, feel that stretch, chin up. 20% effort. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Hold. Keep reaching your chin up as high as you can. Reach it higher towards the ceiling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands on the back of the head. Chin to the chest. Just a nice isometric hold in this position. So no pulling, no pushing your head up against your hands. Just let everything relax. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. How's that feel? Give yourself a little like yes and no. Should feel a little looser. The side portions are what we're going to focus on next. So very often when we bring the chin to the chest and we scrape that collarbone in our cars, we don't really have many issues here until we side flex. And that is where a lot of people get that like closing angle pain in here, or they feel a lot of like intense stretch on this opposite side. So what we're going to do first is bring our ear towards our right shoulder and then kind of let our head lay back. So this is like a side portion of our cars. I'm going to take my right hand and reach over and place it on top of the left side of my head. So I'm pulling further into that stretch. I should feel the stretch further onto my left side. Very, very steady pails. I'm going to push my head into my hand. Rails, I'm going to let go and I'm going to try to reach my ear closer to my shoulder. Super light, super steady. Start to push that head up into the hand at 20%, 30%, 40%, and we'll stop there. Holding that position, we should feel a little bit of almost like heat start to develop in that stretching side. You can reach down with that left hand if you want. It'll create a little bit more stretch into the left side of the neck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the hand. Try to get the ear closer to the shoulder. So I'm just basically trying to pull into that stretch a little bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly bring your head back up. We're going to do the opposite side. So ear to the chest. Don't be surprised if this, ear to the shoulder. Sorry, thank you. Left ear to the left shoulder. Don't be surprised if this left side of your neck feels a little strange right now. It just got stretched pretty good. So we'll just kind of sit here for a little bit. Left hand comes up onto the right side of the head. Same thing with this right arm. If you want to reach it down actively, you can. Otherwise, you can just let it hang from the body. Slowly pushing the head up into the hand. So 20% effort, just pushing that right side of the head into the hand. 30%, 40%, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go of the head. Try to reach that left ear down to the left shoulder. Decreasing the space between my shoulder and my cheek. Reaching as much as I can. Keep going, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then let's just finish continuing on into some cars. So bringing the chin to the left collarbone. Passing through. Bring that head up. Just really soft cars. No tension. Letting the head kind of roll. We'll go 2 in each direction. I'm getting a lot more like clicking and clacking in the neck, yes. After you guys are done with 2 circles in each direction, that's all I have. Ending the stream on YouTube.